In the slice-of-life drama that takes place in the late 90s, it centers on Hee Do, played by Kim Tae-ri, an aspiring fencing athlete who transfers to a rival school after her fencing team gets disbanded due to the South Korean national crisis.
Paired with none other than our startup star Nam Joo-hyuk, who plays Becky Jin, who once lived a life of wealth and privilege, is now struggling to find a steady job to support himself and his separated family. The pair form an irresistible partnership as they navigate their journey to fulfill their dreams while dealing with their own coming-of-age struggles. What's up, Sunny fam? Welcome back to another video. We found another feel-good, wholesome drama to follow, and that is 2521. A newcomer, at least to us, Kim Tae-ri, which we haven't seen in any other dramas. Of course, Nam Joo-hyuk comes to us from Startup and some other projects too. I think it was Bring It On Ghost as well. I think he was in that one.
Yeah, he was also in School Nurse Files or something like that, and he's been in a few other dramas. He's kind of like a rising star in terms of K-dramas. But Kim Tae-ri, like, we were looking her up. She's 32 years old.
31.
Okay, 31.
Yes.
She's 31 years old, and man, they did a good job making her look like she's a teenager.
Absolutely. I mean, she does look the part. I was looking up the cast because a lot of faces were familiar, including Chang-mi, who was in Itaewon Class that we just finally caught up with. We looked her up, and she, I don't know how a 30-plus-year-old plays a late teen high schooler, but it works.
It works, and she does an amazing job portraying this lively and very energetic, giddy type of character, and I just love seeing her actions on screen. It just kind of puts a smile to my face.
Yes.
Now contrast that to Becky Jin, who's kind of like the opposite of who she is, right? But like, he's kind of down on his luck. His family is kind of like, or his father was responsible with the bankruptcy of a company that ruined a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and this drama takes place in the backdrop of the IMF, or the International Monetary Fund crisis of Korea, where a lot of chaebols, or a lot of rich families, went bankrupt, and his was a part of it. Causes Nido's first school to shut down the fencing program, which causes the characters to clash and kind of come together with, you know, Yijin, Yurim, and Nido all kind of like meeting each other in this crossroads of like people who have been affected by this financial crisis. And thus, we have the story.
So catching up to episodes 5 and 6, after making it on the national fencing team, Hee Do is finally seeing her hard work pay off. But a sequence of events has forced Yijin to move out. His father's past has caught up to him and his brother, so he chooses to run away to move in with their mother. As a matter of fact, Yijin moves to the small town of Pohang, which is where Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha took place.
For those of you unfamiliar, Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha is based around a place that is fictitious called Kungjin, but is actually filmed in Pohang. And in this series, they actually name Pohang, and we see the lighthouse, and we see all kinds of things that are just very reminiscent of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. So getting back to the story, it's apparent that Hee Do and Yijin love each other, and there's a sense of yearning and longing as they listen to each other's messages on the payphone. Payphone, handphone, pager, beepers, just all of the technology of the 90s is just coming back to me, you know, just right in my nostalgic heart.
Yeah, the flip phones, the speed dials.
Of course, a few months later, Yijin heads back to Seoul to become a reporter and finally runs into Hee Do. There's no doubt that they were destined to be together.
Fast forward into the Asian Games. Can I just say how amazing Hee Do portrays a fencer? Her screams and yells are intense and full of emotions, just like the real thing.
I was actually asking myself, do they actually scream? And lo and behold, they do.
Yeah, let's just do a search on YouTube and you'll just get a bunch of screaming fencers. Despite being roommates though, Yurim and Hee Do are destined to be rivals. We see them face off in the final match of the Asian Games. Who is going to win?
So I think Hee Do is going to win. We get flashes here and there of the present time with Hee Do's daughter reading her diary and going and causing us to go back in time as the audience. But, you know, there was a rift there. We don't know who her father is. And then we know that Yijin is not in her life and that her mother, or the current daughter's grandmother, has seen him in the last month. And that causes Hee Do as an adult to be like, You didn't tell me.
I actually think that Yurim's gonna win because it's not Hee Do's time yet. Like, as much as it makes it look like it's Hee Do is going to kind of finally get that gold medal to pair up with her bronze and her silver, I don't think it's time yet. There's like 10 episodes left. Like, I think there's still time for her to actually get into other competitions. As I'm saying this though, I'm starting to doubt myself.
I don't think the story is contingent on her winning. I think she does win, and it causes even more of a distance between her and Yurim.
I really did hope that they were going to, you know, become like buddies and best friends because they're roommates. But there is just something about Yurim, and she can't get over the fact that, well, I think she has a complex of just being born in poverty and her family is quite poor. And she's always walking around with tattered clothing and shoes and bags, and compared to Hee Do, who's just like probably an annoying person in her eyes because she has a little bit more of a privileged
She
life.
wears her wealth on her chest. Basically.
Exactly. So probably that needs to come out of her in order for her to get over it so that they can be friends. But I don't know if they can actually be friends. In fact, that leads me to my prediction that, you know, because it's 25 and 21, we have to get to them being 25 and 21, right? In the car ride, Hee Do actually mentions that she broke up with her 3-week boyfriend just to experience what breakup is all about from the songs that she listened. But then Yejin says, well, you have to be in love first to experience what a breakup is. And that actually leads me to believe that they are not together in present day.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, we see present day. Yejin is not part of her life.
But what I'm thinking is that Yejin is with Yurim.
I actually agree with that because Hee Do and Yejin are not together during the present time. Although it would be interesting that he's with Yurim at that point, but still the father of Hee Do's daughter.
Oh, really? You think he's the father?
Creates like a baby daddy issue.
Okay.
But I do think that Yurim needs to lose this because I think part of her arc is to taste loss, right? Because she comes from nothing, but she is a gold medalist. Hee Do comes from a lot, but is always losing. And so like there needs to be kind of like an exchange or a trade between the two. Hee Do wins and Yurim loses, and Yurim changes for the better. She stops treating people like, you know, how she treated Hee Do at first. So there needs to be a catalyst that causes Yurim and Hee Do to at least become close buddies like you thought.
Ooh.
I also think she's going to win because of this, you know, this cinematography thing.
That was an amazing spot.
I'm reaching here, and this may not mean anything, but hey, if you're the principal photographer for this show and you're watching this and it does mean something, then I'm awesome. You're awesome for filming it that way. But in this scene where she's turning around to return to the finals of the Asian Games, you know, you see a W and you see a 1. It's lined up to kind of create half of or 2/3 of win.
Yes.
And she's walking in, and the camera pans down finally to reveal, you know, W1, and then Hee Do.
Yep.
And then the slanted bag, and then the outside pole of the entrance to create an N, which I thought spelled win. Now it could be just me reaching or kind of like creating something out of nothing.
When you pointed that out, I was like, whoa, like, okay, now I'm going back a little bit on my prediction that Yurim's gonna win this one. But in any case, that was like fantastic, like cinema or whatever it was planned. It was an Easter egg. You know, there's like this Easter eggs nowadays. So like, that was a really good spot. Well, in any case, that is it for us, guys. Leave your comments in the section below. Who's gonna win in the next episode, Yurim or Hee Do? I think it's gonna be Yurim. You think it's gonna be Hee Do, but of course, I'm also starting to back out of that prediction as well. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, tap that bell so you know we post new videos, and once again, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you next time.